Before watching the tutorial, let me explain the leather. For vegetable tan leather, there are more than 2 varieties, including natural colored and water-based dyed options. Both variants require leather finishing, as they are susceptible to becoming easily soiled. Apply the mink oil in the kit evenly to the surface of the leather. After application, the color of the leather will darken, which is a normal phenomenon. After applying the oil, let it air dry for a while, allowing the leather to absorb the oil. Once it has dried, we'll use the same method to apply a layer of dye-resistant agent. Its purpose is to prevent the surface from getting dirty or stained. Now, the leather finishing is complete. I want to emphasize again that only the natural colored and water-based dyed vegetable tanned leather require this treatment. For other types of leather, you can skip this step directly. When applying the mink oil to the water-based dye veg tan leather, there might be some color transfer, but it's not a problem. Because there is a layer of excess pigment on its surface, it will be fine after applying the mink oil. Now, I will demonstrate a sanding method suitable for beginners using a piece leather. After completing the stitching, first, flatten the edges. Use a chipper to treat the edges on both sides like this. Then, take the sanding stick and use the coarse side of the sanding stick to sand the edges first. Then, use the fine side of the sanding stick to sand it smooth. When using the fine side for sanding, it is essential to sand in one direction to achieve a smoother and more even edge. And then, find the edge sealer. Then, take the burnishing wooden stick and use the lower to grit levels to burnish the edges. Then, use the higher to grit levels to polish the surface of the edges, until the edges become smooth and even. Then, use fine sandpaper to carefully sand it once more, paying attention to the details. Then, repeat all the steps mentioned earlier, and then you will know that the efforts made earlier were worth it. Apply this method to all the edges that need edge sealing. For the corners, use the other end of the wooden stick to burnish them. Check the final result of the treatment. Find these 2 side pieces for the bag. Sand and burnish the edges without pinholes using the method I taught before. Note that it's the edges without pinholes. Leave the rest untouched. Just ensure the edges are smooth and even. Find this leather material and this hardware and assemble them together like this. Before aligning, apply a bit of adhesive to the leather back. Then align them, apply pressure, and release once the adhesive is dry. Align the holes and sew them together. Next, let me introduce you to some sewing tips. I'll randomly pick 2 pieces of leather to demonstrate for everyone. Now we start to sew this row of pinholes. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part, then cut it off. Each time, you can measure the thread a little more to ensure that there is more than enough thread available. Before using the thread, straighten it out like this, making sure it's smooth and untangled. Thread the needles. Pass the thread through the needle eye, then pull out a section. Let the needle point to pierce the thread. Pull it tight. Now it is done. Thread the other needle in the same way. Start sewing, let the first needle pass through the first pinhole. Pull the two threads, keep them in the same length. Then, thread two needles through the second pinholes separately, and pull them tight. This called double needle stitching method. Don't miss any pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. After passing each needle through, make sure to pull it tight diagonally to the rear. Then, the other needle needs to pass through from the front of the thread. You can pull it diagonally to the left or right rear side. Both ways will work. The key is to maintain the same direction. In this way, the stitches will be neat. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. Finally, make 2 or 3 backstitches to reinforce it. Now let both needles on the material's back side. Cut the thread leaving a 3 mm end. Burn off the thread ends with a lighter. Burn off the thread end slowly like this. Don't burn the leather material. The reinforced stitches have overlapping thread. It looks not good. To adjust it, use a awl like this. Let's check the sewn up effect. The sewing tips introduction is completed. Now, let's proceed with the sewing. Keep sewing by following the method I taught earlier. Sew this circle up and finish off the thread by the method I taught earlier. Next, locate this long leather strap. Align the leather surfaces like this. Then align the holes and sew them together. After the first stitch goes through, take one of the needles and loop the thread around like this. Then keep sewing to the end. Pay attention when sewing around the bottom corner to not miss any pinholes. Keep sewing normally. After finishing the stitching, use the same method to loop the thread, then secure the thread ends. Take a look at the result. Sew up the other one in the same way. Find these two materials, align this row of pinholes and sew the row together. The first stitch goes through only the second hole of the leather material. Start the second stitch by adding a spacer and sewing together. Be careful not to sew incorrectly. After sewing, pull the thread through the side with the spacer. Then find this leather material, sew it up in the same way. Take a look at the result of these 2 rows of stitches. The 2 pieces of leather are joined together. Locate these 2 pieces of leather, sand and burnish the long edges of both materials using the method I taught before. Please note to only sand and burnish long edges of the 2 materials. Just ensure the edges are smooth and even. Then find this leather piece with larger holes, align the pinholes and sew it up. Take a look at the result with both rows of holes stitched. After sewing, sand and burnish the edges on both sides. Just ensure the edges are smooth and even. Next, find this lock loop hardware and install it through the holes. Please take note that the arch side of the lock seat hardware should face upward, and the upward side is the leather. Flip it over and align the small spacer with these 2 holes. Tighten the screw to finish. When tightening the screw, apply a small amount of glue on this thread. This will prevent it from loosening during use. In the future, apply glue to all the areas where screws need to be tightened. Both of them need to be properly installed. Then, find these 4 bottom studs and install them into the 4 corresponding holes. Flip it over and tighten the screws to finish. Find this piece of leather and this square buckle hardware and assemble them together like this. Then, apply glue to the suede side of the leather. After applying the glue, fold it in half by aligning the holes. Press it for a while, and once the glue is dry, release it. Treat the other one the same way. Find this piece of leather with the suede side facing up. Align it like this, matching the holes in the middle row. Please pay attention that the second hole of the smaller piece aligns with the first hole of the larger piece. Align the other side using the same method. There will be 1 hole left in the middle. That's the correct alignment. Take a look. The larger piece has one side wider than the other along the edges. First, fold the wider side in half and align it with the holes in the middle. Then, fold the narrower side in half as well, aligning it with the holes in the middle. Secure it with a clamp first, and remember that the first stitch goes through only the smaller piece. Start the second stitch to sew through all the materials. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. After sewing, pull the thread to the back side. Let's check the sewn-up effect. Find this small piece of leather and assemble it like this. Apply some glue on the leather in place like this. Treat the other one in the same manner. Then, find this piece of leather and sew it together by aligning with this circular row of holes. After sewing is complete, you can secure the thread ends. Sew up the other side in the same way. Then, find the bag lid material and sew it together by aligning it with this circular row of holes, just like this. After sewing is complete, we can secure the thread ends. After that, sand and burnish the edges of this circular section. Let's check the result after sanding and burnishing. aiming for a smooth and even surface. Then, find these two pieces of leather, sand, and burnish the edges of this circular section. Just ensure the edges are smooth and even. Then, sew them together by aligning with this circular row of holes, just like this. After sewing is complete, we can secure the thread ends. Sew the other side using the same method. Then, locate the previously stitched body material of the bag. Sew it together by aligning with this circular row of holes, like this. After sewing is complete, we can secure the thread ends. Take a look at the overall result of the sewn bag body. Locate the previously stitched side piece and align it like this, with the suede side facing each other. Sew it together by aligning with the holes. When starting the stitch, loop the thread once, then keep sewing to the end. When sewing around this corner, the pinholes might shift slightly. Please don't miss any holes while sewing. Make a stitch through the gap between the two middle materials as well. After finishing the stitching, loop the thread once using the same method, then secure the thread ends. Sew the other side using the same method. After sewing both sides, use the method I taught earlier to glue, sand, and burnish the edges of this circular section. Just ensure the edges are smooth and even. Then, tidy up the bag shape like this. Find this small leather strip and this small nail. Install them in place, like this. Then use scissors to flatten these two studs. This will secure them in place. Install the other one in the same way. Find this piece of leather in this buckle, and assemble them together like this. Slide the leather loop above the piece of leather, then fold it in half. Then install this hardware. Flip it over and use an awl to align this hole. Then, tighten the small screw to finish. You don't need to tighten these two small screws too much, just make them flush. Install the other one using the same method. Then, install it like this and place it in the first hole. Install the other one using the same method. Finally, Fasten the snap lock, and the bag is complete. If the bag shape isn't ideal right after making it, you can use crumpled scrap paper to stuff the bag, letting it sit for a while to help reshape it before use. Next, get the small strip and nail. Install in this way. Then press the two claws with scissors, let them flat. It is installed up. Install both two up in same way. Now let's install the shoulder strap. The hardware on different bags may vary. I will use this set of hardware to demonstrate the installation process for you. Install other bags' hardware in the same way. Find the longest strap, the small leather piece, a snap hook, and a rivet. Thread this small leather piece through the end loop of the snap hook like this. Next, take the long strap and align the large holes. Then, install the rivet and tighten the screw. Let's take a look at the result. Place the rivet on this smooth side, as it will be exposed and looks more aesthetically pleasing. Next, locate the short strap and attach the snap hook to the side with the large hole using the same method. Take a look at the effect of having both of these installed. Next, install the side with the two large holes. Put on the two rings and then install the hardware. Thread the buckle through the small leather piece, then align the large holes. This hardware has a gap, so place this side facing upwards. Then, install and tighten the rivet at the first hole position. Next, open up the small leather piece and push the ring forward to the middle position between the two holes. Then align it and install the rivet. Let's take a look at the effect. Put on the long shoulder strap and thread the holes to a length that is comfortable for your height. Then pass it through these two leather rings. Now the shoulder straps is finished. Well, thanks for choosing Babylon Leather. Thanks for watching.